You're watching TCM. I'm Alicia Malone. Up next in our lineup of early Merle Oberon roles is The Private Life of Don Juan from 1934, directed by Alexander Korda, which was also the final film for the legendary swashbuckling star Douglas Fairbanks. This was one of a series of private life films for Alexander Korda, which began with The Private Life of Helen of Troy from 1927. He followed it with the Oscar-nominated The Private Life of Henry VIII from 1933. That film gave Merle Oberon a breakout role as Anne Boleyn, and Korda continued exploring the secret lives of well-known figures with The Rise of Catherine the Great from 1934, before turning to the famous lover Don Juan for our movie. This is a comedy in which Don Juan, played by Douglas Fairbanks, is much older and less appealing to women. And when he hears about imitators pretending to be him, Don Juan tries to make a comeback. Merle Oberon was cast as Antonita, a Spanish dancer who shares a passionate kiss with the Lothario. Fairbanks himself was aging, in his 50s at the time, and had travelled to England with his son, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., who was a successful actor in his own right. Fairbanks Jr. had starred in Korda's The Rise of Catherine the Great, and Fairbanks Sr. signed a contract with Korda to star as Don Juan. Alexander Korda spared no expense in staging this production, with a budget that exceeded that of The Private Life of Henry VIII, in the hope that this film would match that success. Let's take a look from 1934. This is The Private Life of Don Juan. The Private Life of Don Juan wasn't a box office hit, and interestingly, critics argued that the 50-something Douglas Fairbanks was not old enough to play a 50-something Don Juan. This would be Douglas Fairbanks's final film credit, as he retired from acting and died 5 years later. Our star of the month, Merle Oberon, did not think she performed well in The Private Life of Don Juan, saying she was dreadful in it because, as she explained, I must feel a part, and for some reason I could never feel that one. However, it did give Oberon a chance to do an on-screen kiss, which could have caused issues with the British censors if they had known she was South Asian. The same year that The Private Life of Don Juan was released, the production code was enforced in Hollywood, banning interracial relationships, and I'm sure that added pressure on Oberon to keep passing as white. Well, this was the third Private Life movie for director Alexander Korda. His previous one was a big hit, and we'll see that after this break, a lavish comedy drama where Merle Oberon plays Anne Boleyn and Charles Laughton is King Henry VIII.
Next on TCM, The Private Life of Henry VIII, then The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex, and later, Yellowface, Asian whitewashing and racism in Hollywood. Stay with TCM tonight.